Hi, so today we are going to go through a rolling session with a foam roller. So if you don't have a foam roller, then I would recommend going and getting one. But you can also use things and get creative, like you can use a drink bottle, a steel drink bottle. You can use, at times I've used a pipe as well, but you can get them for really cheap through Kmart as well. But I would really recommend getting one because it is your lifesaver. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our lower legs and then move all the way up the body. And the whole thing's designed to be really easy and take about 5 minutes. So if we come onto our bottoms, we're going to rest our calf muscle, just our lower calf muscle, on the roller and start going up and down. Now you want to turn your toe in, come through the middle, roll your toes pointing towards the sky, and then out. And as you're doing this, this could be enough pressure. If you do want extra pressure, if that's not enough for you on this lower calf, then you can bring your other leg across and act as a bit of a weight where you're pushing it down. So that's what I like to do because I like it to feel like it's doing something and working. Now this lower calf muscle, it's also your soleus, which is attached to your Achilles. And I don't know about you, but with hockey especially, that can get really tight and affect a whole bunch of other things up the body. So moving up to the middle calf, so you'll feel that if you go more on the inside edge, it might feel a little bit different, coming through the middle and then rolling out to the outside. Then moving to the upper calf. So really you just want to make sure that if there's any sticky spots, you might want to hold it instead of rolling, but you can also just roll it and that actually warms the muscle up. This is especially good on cold mornings or just before trainings to get the muscles warm. So if you do find a spot that you want to hold, then that's great. Otherwise you can just keep working that. Cool, so that's our right calf. Left one, switch it over. So as we start to work these lower leg muscles, just tune into your breath. Start to really focus on the sensations around the area that you're rolling. Moving to the middle calf now. You might notice that one side is a lot tighter than the other. And if that's the case, then you know for next time, or even right now, you might need to spend a little bit more time on that tighter side. It's what sport does to us. It makes our bodies unbalanced. And it's our job to figure out which side, which leg needs more attention. So moving up into the upper. And that's calves done. So onto one of my favourite parts, the shins. This might be a bit intense for you, so you can back off if you want, or you can bring one knee up onto the roller. So notice I'm not putting my shin bone, so if you feel that flat, that bone at the front of your shin, you don't want that to be pushing on the roller, you just want that outside edge. And so instead of pushing straight down, you want to roll in a little bit until you find, once you find it, you'll know, that spot, that sweet spot of your frontal. Oh yeah, there we go. So what I actually do, you can feel free just to find the spots, you can hold it on that spot, right down to that ankle bone and back up, or you can go both shins at the same time, which I like to do when I'm in a rush, and you can just transfer weight if you want to go just onto the right leg or just onto the left. So we often forget about the front of our shins, and often we focus on the calves, but if you just think for every time that your calf is working, so is the counter muscle in the front of your shin. So these guys often cause us a lot of issues without even realizing it. Beautiful. Come off there. Just have a seat. You can stretch your legs out in front and just wiggle them. Notice how that feels. Does it feel different? Mine sure does. Okay, moving up into the hamstrings. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this, just as long as wherever you feel it, it's not a sharp pain. And also you want to make sure that you're feeling like you're doing something. So if you can't feel anything, then it might just be adjusting the way that your leg is pointing, that your toes are pointing. So you can come on the inside of your leg here, almost into that groin, come through the middle, and you can come through the outside. So as soon as you get onto that outside part of your hamstring, that's moving into your iliotibial band. It's called your IT band, you might have heard that before. So this band up here, this is where we hold a lot of tension. So what we're going to do now is actually roll over. This might be where you stop because it is quite painful. Onto that IT band. And you can have your foot in front or behind. You can come down onto your elbows. And what you might want to do, because this one is quite painful, is just to rest in one area. And even for that, for me, is enough. Just there. If you can't feel anything, then maybe roll forward or roll back. But we don't want to be working our quads just yet. It's just getting that side seam of the leg. Okay, so moving it slightly. Ooh, hello. Slightly up again. Remember to breathe. Cool, and then we're just going to swap over. So our right hamstring, you can start rolling the inside, through the middle, and then onto that outside. And if there's a spot that you really want to keep digging into, feel free to come back at the end or just pause the video and keep rolling in that area. So we're going to come over onto that tibial band, iliotibial band. And you can't see me, you can see the back of me, but you will know what to do by now. So in my body, this leg is a lot tighter. I don't know about you. Ooh. Keep breathing. Every time you exhale, soften. Relax. Now your quad muscle will want to tense up to protect and to fight the pain, but just see how much you can relax. Okay, so from here, we're going to come all the way over onto the quads, starting with our left leg. Depends how big your roller is. You could fit both legs on here. I sort of like to come down onto my tummy, make sure that your core is engaged onto your elbows, and then I'll often just swing off onto one side. So in this instance, it's my left leg. And I'm getting right up into that hip, right up into here. So as I come up, I'm just balancing myself with my other leg. I just move up a bit. So there's a nice spot in the front of my hip that gets really tight with my sport. I'm sure a lot of sports have the same. So you'll notice that when we worked our IT band, that's more on the side, and now we're just rolling off into that front, into the quadriceps. So there's 4 muscles, obviously 4, that make up our quadriceps, our big, powerful muscles that we rely on so much. So same thing again, as you start to move and roll, you'll find a spot and your muscles will tense to try and protect it. So once you've found that spot, then see if you can relax the muscle. It'll be quite uncomfortable. You can take some weight out of that, out of the quad that's on it by putting a lot of weight through this leg here. I'm going to come more into the middle of my quad, into the front. So you can either bend this knee to take some weight off, or you can have it up and behind to put a little bit more weight on. It really depends on your pain tolerance or how sore you are. So notice I'm still working my left quad at the moment. You might need to just wriggle around a bit to fit everything on. If you want to do this inside part of your leg here, what I like to do is come off, like my whole body off, and then just rest this part. I'll do it on the other side. Just rest this part on it. So rolling on the inside of that quad. And that's often a muscle that we forget about too. If you want more weight, you can come up a bit. Just really playing around with what feels right for you. So this will still be on your left leg. Then we're going to transfer over to our right leg. Same thing on that outer hip. You can start to roll down and feel that on the outer hip. Coming up the leg. As soon as you find a spot, you can maybe hold and soften. Okay, lower legs done. When I say lower legs done, I mean we forgot about the glutes. So we're going to sit on the roller. We're going to roll off onto one side, so onto one glute, and you'll probably feel that just like that. What you can do is you can play around with straightening and bending this knee. So we're only on the left glute at the moment, and you're just getting, if I just show you, so what you're wanting to target is this patch in here. Okay, so we're not rolling too far wide and we're not going too far in, so it's just that outer glute. And what you can actually also do is once you've played around with the straight leg, the bent leg, coming more into the middle, is you can put that figure four stretch, put that left ankle onto the right knee, and you might find that that gives your glute just a little bit of a different trigger. Okay, switching over to the right glute. Notice the difference between the two sides. Perhaps you want to spend longer on one side. Tune back into that breath. Okay, so that is the lower leg part of the roller done. So next we're going to work on our upper body. And my favourite place to start is always my back, my thoracic. Gets really tight. So what you can do is you can come back onto your knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. And we want to come back onto the roller so that the roller is actually in line with your bra strap. Okay, so not any lower, because we don't want our lumbar back, our lower back to be compromised here. So we want to keep a little tuck in the lower belly. So we don't want it to be pushing up, and we don't want to just fall back into it, because then that could do something to your lower back. So with the feet firmly on the ground, interlock your fingers behind your head. Find a comfortable spot for that roller, and then slowly push your hands into the back of your head. Push your head back into your hand, so you're not jerking your head forward or back. And then as you're ready, just slowly begin to drop your head, your hands to the ground, opening up that thoracic. Come back up. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your head. Now this might be a little bit too intense for you, so just make sure that you're only going to where you feel is comfortable. And of course, if you have any back injuries, make sure that you check with your physio before doing these exercises. In your own speed. You can just roll up or down your back. Maybe not too far down, but maybe up your back a little bit to make sure you're getting the different spinal segments open. I'm going to do about 5 to 10 of these. Oh yeah, okay. So once we've done that, what we're going to do now, we're going to come over onto one side. And this is a goodie. This is one that often gets missed. What we're working is this area here, just on the back of your arm. And it's sort of that part where if you were to lift your arm up, it's almost that whole side seam. So there's a spot in here which I really love to get on the roller. So you're going to lie down on your side, on your left side, reach out your arm, and it almost looks like I'm rolling my armpit, but notice that I'm not faced forward. So I'm actually rolling at the back of my arm here. So notice that I've got this hand to support me, to take some weight out if I need. And all I'm doing here is just rolling either backwards and forwards. I like to go sort of this way so that the roller's not slipping or moving. Just putting as much or as little pressure here as you need. So from here you can actually start to roll down that side seam of the body. Now we're actually going to come, before we do the other side, we're going to bring our palm out to the side, and we're going to open up this chest, this left chest, so not on the boob, but just to the outside and almost in that front into that pectoral muscle. And so from here, you just literally lower yourself onto that pec. You'll know when you feel it. Have your elbow bent and your hand on the floor. And I sort of like to either lie on my tummy sometimes or sort of off to the side. Just find whatever position feels comfortable for you. And again, you can put as much or as little pressure in here as you need. So see, I'm rolling backwards and forwards, opening up that chest. Switch sides. So I'm just going to switch around here so you can still see me. Again, on that outside of the armpit. And see if you can just fully relax into this. Now your body will want to tense up because it doesn't like the pain. But the more you do this, the more you'll be able to just fully relax into it and put more weight into it too. I want to start rolling up and down that side seam, and then hand onto the ground, open the chest. Oh, watch the microphone. Start to roll onto that pectoral muscle. Okay. And come off that. Come up to a comfortable seat. You can even close down your eyes and just notice how your body feels after giving it that self-massage, that self-love. You can open your eyes. Thanks for joining me. I really hope that that helped you open your body up and get ready for whatever it is that the day or the night holds.